What is up, guys? Hope y'all are enjoying your weekend so far. This will be the live trade breakdowns from my trades on NQ from Thursday, April 11th. Let's get into it. So the first trade I'm about to take here is just seeing that my overall bias for the day was bullish on a higher time frame. You can see here on the top left, there was a massive accumulation built up right here. And now we have popped above the range of that accumulation and actually held several 5-minute candles above and 30-minute candles above instead of just sweeping the high of it coming back down, sweeping the low of it coming back up. Now we've actually stayed above it for a bit. So when I see an accumulation like this, I'm ultimately going to be targeting the 3-pole accum targets of that accumulation, which I'll show a little bit later. But ultimately, again, my higher time frame bias for the day was bullish. And on a lower time frame here, we have a nice mini range, as you can see on the 1 minute on the bottom left. And we are now at the lows of that mini range. So I'm just looking for longs. It's with the higher time frame trend. It is also with the lower time frame trend, which is the low of the mini range. And I'm just trading the range here. Also, it's a tap that IB low right here. So we come down, tap that IB low, which I had boxed out here. I have this channel showing local momentum because I do want to trade with local momentum and not trade against it. So this channel is telling me where the local momentum is, which is in this downward channel. Ultimately, I would want it to break out of this channel, but there might be a setup on a lower time frame that helps actually break that channel. So that's what I'm actually going to be taking here. So essentially, I'm just waiting for a little bit of strength here locally. A little bit of market structure breaks. Breaking this local channel here and then coming down and back testing it. Scalp 3-4 to kickback. 2 green candles, and then I'm in. No questions about it. This trade was with the higher time frame trend. It was with what I was saying locally, the mini range trend, which was a range. Now I did decide to take quick take profits here because we hadn't broken out of this channel yet. And after 3-4 to kick back here, of course, it can always come down to the -1, which would be the target of this scalp hold. So I do have that in the back of my mind as well. All right, so the second trade was right after, and this is an IB sweep setup where you just take the IB low and then come right back above and back test it and then get in there, which is exactly what I do. Again, I am drawing a channel here to show me what the local momentum is like. I want to break that channel. Okay, now we've broken that channel. We've broken that channel and then got back above the IB low. And then when it held it as support there, I just got in right there. And quickly, I decided to only get out of one of these and see if the second one could be a runner, maybe up to the IB high or something. But if you notice here, the CVD got super high here. So the CVD turns super bearish here. You can see a higher high compared to this one, even though it's a lower high in price. And when price kind of wasn't doing a very good job at going much higher right away, I decided to just get out there. All right, so third trade. Now we have so it did turn out to be a good decision that I got out there because we did come straight down. So that bearish CVD at the lows, that was telling for a move a little bit lower down here. But what have we come down to here? We have come down to that accumulation range point of control. We've come down to this 178 from this much higher time frame pull. We've come down to the IB -1 on a really nice IB day here, where we've spent almost an hour or so inside of the initial balance. So I would look at the IB -1 and IB -2 zone to be take profit zones for anyone accumulating in the initial balance. And we've hit the scalp 1, 2, 3, 6 here. So there's lots of confluence. I have a acceleration channel drawn here, just showing me that the momentum is down, and I'm not really going to be interested in longing until we start breaking out of that channel and showing that there's a momentum shift. All right, so we got a momentum shift. I decided to get in really aggressively there. That's a lot more aggressive than I would normally get in. But there was just so much confluence here for me, like I just explained, and it goes with my higher time frame bias and all that. So I decided to kind of take a chance getting in a little bit more aggressively, although I'll show you the better place, which is coming up. This is how I should have entered, and this is how, if you follow my way of getting into trades, it would have been right here. That's where you should have entered. Well, not yet. Waiting for 2 green candles, then enter right there. So after there was a little bit more data here, where you actually had a break of the channel of this lower time frame channel here, it broke out the top of it, showing that this channel is over. And then one of the, just like the first trade of the day earlier, after breaking the channel, come down and backtest the channel, and then spring back above it. Also, if I do a local scalp pull here, it was just the kickback zone of that scalp pull. So wait for it to break out of the channel, come back inside to give a retrace, show some strength with a couple of these green momentum candles on the range XV5 chart, and then enter right there. That's where I should have entered. I was just thought it might have been one of those times where I'd have to make a decision quickly because there's so much confluence that it might just rocket up without giving me this, but it did end up giving it, so that's fine. All right, so got take profit 1 out of the way, and then just kind of waiting. It looks really nice on the 1 minute. Everything looks good for me. Just kind of just gonna kind of ride it out for a bit. I'd move my stop up to the next higher low. So I'd want to see that this channel is continuing to get respected here. I wouldn't want it to break down from this channel with my current trade plan and idea here. All right, so still I'm riding this second take profit out, moved up the scalp pull to show the respect from the 3-4 and the kickback, and just, this is the main target zone of the scalp pull that was showing 3-4 respect. So definitely aware that this would be, a zone where price might reverse again to come back down. Right, so we reacted from the -1 here. Now we're starting to break down into local bearish market structure a little bit, and I decide to get out here because the price could also come back down, give a retrace, or potentially make one more low. Could do a lot of things. There wasn't anything yet. Go back and look at that 1 minute. There wasn't anything yet to give me a heads up that I should leave that one as a runner. We hadn't even broken really like the 1 minute structure yet. So yeah, I decided to treat it as a scalp. But good profits anyhow. All right, trade 4. So the situation here is that we were able to make it all the way back up to the highs of the mini range from earlier that morning. And yeah, now we're showing a lot of strength here. Everything looks good for me for a higher move up to come to the accumulation targets. And again, I will a little bit later at some point, I do draw those up here. I had it on there before. But yeah, now I'm looking for a long opportunity here. We have come back above the IB middle, and the IB middle, the general zone here is holding as support. I'm just looking for a good entry. And right now, the local momentum of this channel is showing downwards. So I'd like to break out of this channel, come back above, maybe give a back test or something like that in order for me to feel good about taking a long here. All right. So we popped out of the channel for a little bit and then came back right down, back tested it real quick. And that's when I decided to get in there. So we'll watch this play out a little bit. Since this, I have a local scalp pull here, and this was the 3-4 reaction. Now that we're in the kickback, I do realize that this could be a zone where we reverse back down to come down to the targets down here. So since we got a first rejection there, I decided to take a one of my take profits right there, just in case. Right, so I am about to draw the 3 pull from the accumulation range right here. And all I'm doing with that is when I see an accumulation where the fixed volume profile looks like a bell curve like that, or like a capital letter D, and the fatter the better, and this is a nice fat one, so that's good. That tells me that price is going to try to get to these targets up here, the 1618 to 200, or the 2618 to 2832, or the 3236 as a final stop. So I'm definitely expecting price to come at least up to this first set of targets, where the folks who accumulated in this range would be looking to potentially take their first profits, if not all the way up here to the second set of targets. So got a lot of higher time frame reasons to be bullish here. I'm just trying to trade with a trend. So I'm going to leave one runner with that, and then I'm going to have a, well, put my stop loss right under there. I'm hoping to that obviously that it doesn't come and stop me out, and it doesn't this time. But here's where things got a little bit interesting. So I am still in that runner from lower. You see, right, the one taken right there at the IB middle, still in that runner, and again, we're not quite at that set of targets here on the 30-minute. So I'm still looking for a bit higher, if not even a lot more higher. But I am interested in potentially compounding now. So I posted this setup in the Discord. I was looking at this as a flat, right? ABC flat here. And this is my flat channel. So you just start from the origin of A down to the 4 of the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, when it gets to such low time frame, it's kind of hard to decide exactly what your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this would be. And you don't have to call it a flat either. It's just it looked like a good flat channel to me. So that's how I had it. So origin of A to the 4 of the 5 of C. And then down to the end of A, which should have been like right here, not right here, but it doesn't matter because really with the flat channel, you're looking for it to come back outside of the channel and then potentially give a really nice back test. And once you see it back test and come back above, then you can enter. So yeah, I posted this setup in the group and it starts playing out like absolutely beautifully, exactly what I was looking for. And so yeah, basically just decide to get in there after seeing a couple of those green candles there. Did exactly what I wanted, and I will raise my stop losses up here because it was a compound from lower. It still ends up giving me an entry here that is lower than where the current pivot low is. So that's always nice when you're compounding in profit, So in a little bit here is where things get a little bit interesting. and it ends up being kind of sad for me, but it's definitely a learning experience. So once this take profit hits here, that'll take out that lower, the one that I had from lower. So nice $1,200 or so profit from that one. Then I have the two running that I opened right here. And basically the thing that I do wrong here is I have two ideas going on for Confluence right now. I have the flat channel, and this is the priority. This was the most important thing for me, is that when price comes back outside of this channel back as support, that is telling me that this flat is over. If I am right in my idea and this flat is over, and then now we would be looking for another impulsive move up, and this low would hold. So this should be my invalidation, this low right here. But as a second point of confluence, I was using this scalp pull. And then as price gets a little higher, there's a higher scalp pull if you pull it down from the low up here, maybe up to this one or so, then the high ends up being at the 3-4. So I was looking at this general zone right here, this little order block and the kickback of this pull, essentially, to be my invalidation. And that's where I left my stop loss. Because that was just a secondary confluence and not my main priority confluence for this trade idea, I should not have based my invalidation on my second priority. I should have based it on my first priority. So that was my mistake here. And there was some news that hit right at 101, something about bonds, and that's when this happened. So it just stops me out here. Not a big loss. Like it really was. It was I don't know. It was a couple hundred. It wasn't a big deal. But what comes afterward was what was really sad. So let me just fast forward to that. So yeah, that's where I got stopped out right there. And then this absolutely massive move came up afterward, right? And I'm not saying that I would have. I don't know how I would have held that. I might have, truthfully, I might have gotten out of that position up here at the first set of targets here, probably around here. But if I was able to hold, yeah, that would have been $4,000 extra dollars for the day. Yeah, I was kind of frustrated when it happened. So I felt that. I felt a lot of emotions from getting stopped out there. And I wasn't even really thinking about how to get back in really quickly. It just felt unclear to me at that moment. Probably just, being a little frustrated and feeling kind of stupid for not putting the stop loss under there instead. And then it just started going so quick. Yeah, and then I just wasn't even thinking about getting back in along the way. So it is what it is. It was still a really good day, but just something to learn from. And I would say if you have multiple confluence, focus on the invalidation of your priority confluence, the most important confluence for you for that trade idea, and use that to place your stop loss. That was my main takeaway from that. So anyway, that is all the trades. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll see you all next week.